Welcome to the Farm to School podcast, where you will hear stories of how youth thrive and farmers prosper when we grow, cook, and eat delicious, nutritious, healthy meals in schools. And we are Farm to School specialists, Michelle Markison.
And I'm Rick Sherman.
And we're so thrilled. We are actually airing live from the Oregon School Nutrition Association conference.
We are in downtown Salem, Oregon, at a big convention center. And we have, I don't know how many hundreds of people here, but
hundreds.
We are with one of our dear friends, Lynne Shore, who is the Oregon State Nutrition Association president.
Famous Lynne Shore. Welcome.
President.
Hi.
So,
thank you.
Can you tell people, there's a lot of people that aren't from Oregon that listen to this around the country. I'm sure other states, there's a national school nutrition association, but most states have a gathering like this too, right? So what is this all about?
Most states do have a state conference, and today we are learning all different things about child nutrition, CACFP, National School Lunch Programs. A lot of people are able to get their professional standard trainings in today. Yep. And then the fun part is the food and equipment show.
Yeah, we've actually, Michelle and I were reminiscing. We've been here for like 12 years, and we have a farm to school booth here. And we're kind of commenting, farm to school has kind of taken over this. I mean, we're a big presence here. I mean, we've had 4 breakout sessions. We have this, and this is what we hear. This is the most famous part. We have a food show, and people know, in one part of the building, there's lots of equipment, lots of processed food. But on this wing, it's grown and processed local food on this wing, and people, it's all local, and people love it.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we have a whole section just for farm to school items and local items. And a lot of them are, like you said, items that they sell to us that are unprocessed, not meaning not meaning processed like people think, but more like pre-cut.
Yeah.
And
minimally processed.
There you go. Yeah. So it makes it easier for our cooks to speed scratch cook.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of labor out of it.
I hadn't heard that term. Tell us that.
Can we copyright that?
Trademark. Done.
Trademark. Done.
Yeah, speed scratch is really nice because, for instance, sometimes we don't want raw beef in our kitchens, in our refrigerators, because of sanitation and training.
Cross-contamination.
So, exactly. So some of our foods will be pre-cooked, like hamburger crumbles. And then we're able to take those hamburger crumbles and put them with some other items to make things like chili, famous sloppy joes, things like that.
That's amazing. And people can hear the din in the background, but Lynne, how would you describe this? It's hard to get your head around who's actually here at a school nutrition trade show.
Oh, it's so amazing because we have people that are registered dietitians, we have food service directors, we have frontline folks, we have warehouse men. A couple of warehouse men yesterday took a Serve Safe class. They were new hires, wanted to make sure that they got that under their belt. We have a really big variety of people that are in the school nutrition industry.
They might not know what Serve Safe is. That's a big thing in our industry. Can you say what that is?
It is. It's a sanitation class and test. It goes a little bit farther than a food handler's card, which you can get online. This is a real intense class. You need to study for a couple weeks. Go in, they have a class review and a big quiz. But that really lets everyone know that the people that are there that have that certification know what they're doing, keeping their kitchens clean, the food clean and healthy and safe for everyone to eat.
And for you parents out there that have kids going to school, that's an industry standard around the country that it's a big deal. I've taken that test so many, and I always get 99, 100. I'm just saying, I don't retake it. She just rolled her eyes. You can't see that. She didn't, but I've taken it so many times over the year. But yeah, I still do. I still take it just because.
It's great. You really need to know all of the biological names for everything.
Clostridium perfringens.
There you go. Yeah. All them big
Bacillus
words.
cocci.
We'll have that in the show notes.
No, we won't. We'll talk about Serve Safe. We'll have that in the show notes.
Well, and I mean, I think the big thing too is here we are in the Farm to School showcase at the school nutrition, and I'm looking at Camas Country Mills. They grow wheat in the Willamette Valley, and they grind the grain, and it's used in flour and other baked goods that schools would serve.
Yep. And specifically, what school district you're also not only a president of OSNA in Oregon, but you also have a day job. What is that day job?
I am the food service director for Willamina School District.
Willamina, and tell us where that is. Paint a picture of where Willamina is, that community.
Willamina is in the Willamette Valley, and we are halfway between Salem and the beach.
Yeah, on the way to the beach.
Beautiful, beautiful area.
And I go by there all the time because there's a nice dirt bike riding area.
So it's a booming urban area, right? Lynn's laughing.
Wait, there are a few booms because we do have some mills there, and sometimes they get a little loud.
Okay.
Matter of fact, there's a famous TV show that's filmed there, a famous reality show. What's that?
I don't know.
The Axeman, the logger. Axemen. There was they see a bunch of loggers, and one of the groups of people was at the Willamina.
I didn't know that
thing. Yeah,
Neither did I, actually.
But it's a relatively small rural community.
It is a small rural logging community.
Yeah, and you have invited me out to your school before, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to Lynn, not only to paint a picture about Oregon School Nutrition Association, but actually she does a promotion at her school that blows me away. And could you tell me about that?
Oh yeah, and speaking of our grains over here, when we had a farmer's market, we have a few farmer's markets for our students at our schools.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
We invite all of the farmers that are around. There are several around, which is fantastic. And we do have a wheat farmer there too.
Yeah.
And what we get to do is we set it up all in a covered area. This is Oregon. We do it in a little bit of rain, so we plan ahead. So we make sure that we have it under our covered area. All the farmers get to set up their own booths, just like a regular farmer's market would. They put their signs up and everything. But at this farmer's market, they get to sell to the kids.
What?
The kids get to take all of the food home to their families and share.
They had like food bucks, that little things that you printed out, right?
Right. We give all of the kids tokens. We have pretend dollars and pretend quarters, so the kids practice budgeting making change. They all have a certain amount. They all have the same amount, so like $12 or such. And then they give those to the farmers to pay for their food. They make change. They figure out how much it's going to cost, what I can buy for this. And the kids are so amazing. They always get things for their families, their uncles, their brothers. It's fantastic.
And
to
starts.
See the kids. Oh, plants, starts. We've had 3 of them so far. We've had 2 in the spring and 1 in the fall. So fall is more of a harvest.
Okay.
We're going next year.
They get squash, apples, winter squash, all kinds of things like that for the fall. And then in the springtime, we do a lot of starts so the kids can go home and grow their own. And then what we do is the tokens that the farmers get, they get paid off in cash. So the farmers are, and I suspect that they probably cut the prices a bit for the kids, which is wonderful on their part, but then they do get paid off in cash, so they're not taking any losses.
And one of the things I remember is your principal at the time brought her own pet pot-bellied pig. And I got to hold her, and they dropped her down, and she ran through all the booths, kind of creating havoc. But so fun.
So those farmers at the farmers market, those are ones that grow for your school meal programs too?
There are a few of them that we do grow for our farm to school program. We use them for our salad bars,
Mama Teas,
some of our Mama Teas, and we're getting a few more coming on because they've experienced our farmers market and love the excitement that the kids are showing, and so they want to make sure that we bring that throughout the year.
So it was a way to even attract farmers to the schools. Because is it hard to get produce and other products into your school?
It is a little difficult. We have a produce wholesaler that we also use, but we like to be a little bit closer to town. We have one of our farmers that we use is a mile away. And it's so fantastic to know that the kids, this farmer that I'm talking about is across from the swimming hole. So the kids can go to the swimming hole in the summertime and look up and actually see the food growing that they're going to eat.
That's amazing.
In a few weeks.
That's amazing. Do you have a sign out there? I feel like you need a sign in the field.
I know, we totally should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that. Yeah. We're on that.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to point out, I'll leave a link in the show notes. And I remember telling Lynn about this before, but if there's people out there that want to just do a student farm stand for their school garden, I have this resource called Student Farmers Handbook. and it was made by Denver Urban Gardens. My buddy Andy had a hand in that, I think, over in Slow Food USA. And I want to make that, it's one of those things where you don't have to recreate the wheel. It has all the money handling sheets and everything like that. And that's a really good resource for those of you who want to try to do a light version, not a big giant farmer's market, but just a farm stand for your school garden. So I want to make that available.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about some of the other farmers and stuff that we have at our school and some of the activities that we've done,
Sure.
especially at the farmers market. During that time, we also have an activity book that we send out with the kids, and that way they learn about growing their starts, taking care of them. We had the Dairy Princess Ambassador bring her baby calf.
Right.
She was
I remember
very
that.
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little petting zoo you had there almost, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Besides the principal's pig, that ran through everything in the world. The way that I funded this was through the Farm to School Education Grant, but there are so many other ways that you can do this. One of the other school districts in our area, she came and observed our farmers market, and she decided she went to her school board and PTSO, and the PTSO helped kick in some money so that they were able to afford to do that as well, and that's in Sherwood, Oregon, did that.
Thanks.
Is that Parent Teacher Student Organization? Is that PTSO?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. PTA, they've changed their names a little bit, but PTA is for us old-fashioned folk.
Well, you mentioned about wheat. What else do you do with wheat with the students?
One of the farmers at our farmers market brought in his wheat, and he milled it right in front of the kids. Then the kids were able to buy that wheat, and we supplied recipes. They were able to buy that wheat, take it home, and prepare food for their families. We also did a live demonstration of pancakes. One of our former students, who's a chef, came in and made pancakes with that wheat right in front of the kids right when it was freshly milled so that they could have a few free samples as well.
I have never had that. What's it taste like?
It was amazing. It's a little gritty. It's a little gritty, but beautiful. And I think the kids all just fell in love with the pancakes. I'm sure they went home and made pancakes for everybody.
Do you
Breakfast for dinner.
Breakfast for dinner. It's a regular at our house.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get feedback from parents from things kids have brought home?
We do. We have a really great communications person. He posts a lot of stuff on our Facebook page. And after he posted that, we had so many comments about parents saying this is their favorite activity of the year. And little Susie brought home a plant for Uncle Joe, and she can't wait to give it to him. It's really fantastic. The parents are very positive about it. One of our parents, they had to leave for the weekend, and they were kind of upset that they were going to miss that. So they kind of asked for early access, so we made sure that they got it. It's a really an important big deal for these kids to be able to participate in some fun off to the side things that are educational as well.
It's really magical. It really does connect the cafeteria, classroom, and community, and your school district is just doing that amazingly.
It's a fantastic program, and like I said, it's my baby.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Lynn, I just wanted to give you a really sincere thank you, because it is so hard to be a school nutrition service director, and here you are doing that, and all the leadership for our state and SNA. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a labor of love for sure.
Can tell it's your
Thanks,
passion.
Lynn.
Thank you.
Say goodbye to everyone.
Bye-bye, guys.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening today. The Farm to School podcast was written, directed, and produced by Rick Sherman and Michelle Markiston, with production support from Leanne Locker of Oregon State University. This podcast was made possible by a grant from the United States Department of Agriculture. The content and ideas on the Farm to School podcast does not necessarily reflect the opinions of Oregon State University, Oregon Department of Education, and the United States Department of Agriculture. The USDA, ODE, and Oregon State University are equal opportunity providers and employers. Do you want to learn more about Farm to School? Check out other episodes, show notes, contact information, and much more by searching Farm to School Podcast, OSU. We would love to hear from you. Stop by that website that we just mentioned and say hello and give us an idea for the future podcast. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.